So when it comes to looking for development work, when it comes to looking for development work, you want to go find an admin job, office work, doesn't matter where it is, it can be in any old company, but it's a very, development assistant split into two chunks.
Oftentimes you do a lot of the kind of general company admin, so you know like things like diary and schedules and all those sorts of things, and so you have to be someone who is able and prepared to do some kind of quite administrative, maybe not the most exciting tasks.
And then the other half is the actual development. So if you can nail the office side of things, then that will give you a great chance. And then it's a question of just trying to get some script reading, even just reading scripts. As long as they hear you're reading scripts, that will be helpful.
You do a lot of the reading of things that no one else necessarily wants to read that much, like the low priority scripts, those sorts of things, and so you're having to read things and assess them and try and work out if it's something is doable, or if something potentially like the writer's interesting even if the project isn't quite right for the company. So it's a very varied role.
So the obvious skills are, well, you need to love reading scripts and be good at understanding and analysing scripts, the script structure, characterisation, dialogue, the stakes, the concept, the pacing. I mean, that's all presumably obvious if you're thinking of working in development. And also you need to be able to think of things like who is the audience for this, and you need to be good at coming up with solutions. It's all very well saying, second act's boring, like no one's going to pay you for that kind of information. You've got to have put in the time, the effort, have the creativity, be that through reading all those script development books that are out there, or just through sheer practice yourself of reading all these scripts or working with talented producers and directors. So you need to be a good problem solver.
Obviously, you want to try and get through as much material as possible, so if there's a stack of scripts to get read, get through it as fast as you can, provide clear and concise coverage so that they can get through your work really quickly as well. And also just to be a really creative person that has full of ideas, suggestions, helpful, and that's really good for development as well, because they want someone who's just brimming with ideas.
You also need to be good at sugarcoating your feedback. It's a lot of writers, especially British writers, are pretty fragile. You have to be really careful with how you handle them. I get the impression American writers are a bit more thick-skinned because it's more of like an industry there, whereas here we think of it more as an art. So there's kind of a different kind of atmosphere.
So when I'm script reading, the first thing I'm looking at is probably the technique, just because if someone writes with a good technique and they write in an engaging manner, that suggests that they're going to write a good story, if that makes sense.
The main thing about any script is that it entertains. So you immediately want to be engaged in the character and in the story, and ideally on the first page it wants to establish what the tone is and the genre is. So if you only realise by page 20 that it's actually supposed to be a comedy, that's not good. So the first 10 pages needs to establish who the protagonist of the story is, what the general premise of the story is, and how it's original, how it's going to be interesting, and you want to find out more about what happens.
Because the way script writing works is that the leaner it is, the better it reads. And quite often it's because we've seen all the stories a million times before, it's not really about the actual storyline, it's more to do with how you tell it. So if your script writing is very good, the story can actually be very middle of the road, as long as the script writing is good.